Netflix's top hit show Warrior Nun is coming back with another season. The show was dropped on just last summer and soon hit the top 10 most watched series on Netflix. With its release, it brought an epic fight between demons and angels, jaw-dropping twists, and in the end, left us all with a huge cliffhanger. Many fans ended the first season with so many questions unanswered, but we're hoping that season 2 will come to answer these nagging questions. In this video, we're going to be going over all the information you need to know about the upcoming season. You won't want to miss it. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First, let's get a little recap of Season 1. Warrior Nun follows Ava, who's played by Alba Baptista. Ava is a quadriplegic orphan who we meet lying dead on a coroner's slab. However, a crazy series of events leaves an ancient holy artifact. We find this to be the halo of the angel Adriel, which is embedded on Ava's back and brings her back to life with a bunch of superpowers. After creating a friendship with a group of young criminal mansion crashers, she is eventually tracked down by the Order of the Cruciform Sword, the Vatican's society of devout women dedicated to fighting demons, who have passed the halo down from leader to leader since the Crusades. Being torn between staying and doing fun things with her group of friends and fulfilling an ancient heaven-sent destiny, Ava finds herself at the center between demonic and the divine. Now, before we continue, you should know there will be some spoilers about the first season ahead. Speaking of spoilers, here's what happened in the season finale, just to get you all caught up for when Season 2 finally comes out. To start off, Netflix's Warrior Nun's world was torn apart. We find out that Adriel isn't really an angel that bestowed the power to the first Halo bearer like we thought, but instead, he's actually a demon, and the first Warrior Nun stole his power. The source of the Halo's power is a lie, and so is the belief system and religious order built around it. Somewhere else in the finale, Father Vincent betrays the sisters. Sister Lilith starts showing some demonic-looking powers. Young Michael Salvius disappears into a portal right in front of his mother's eyes, and Cardinal Francisco Duretti becomes the Pope. The season ends with a cliffhanger for Ava and her sisters, after Adriel unleashes his demonic power on the sisters' nuns in the ending moments. Executive producer and showrunner Simon Barry initially said, "We did originally write a bit more of a resolution in the final scene," he shares, but they went with the big cliffhanger ending because it was the more daring choice. With Season 1 of the show ending almost a year ago, fans have been eagerly waiting for the announcement of Season 2, especially with such a crazy ending. Well, on August 19th, the fans finally got what they were wishing for. Netflix posted an official announcement that Warrior Nun got the green light for another season. During a virtual reunion that the streaming service posted to Twitter, the cast burst into excitement and cheers when the showrunner dropped the news that they would be reuniting soon. Although Warrior Nun got the go-ahead, it's unlikely that we will see a second season before the later half of 2021. Given that the pandemic has shut down or slowed a lot of production in Hollywood, the filming of the new season will be a bit slower. So, who should we expect to see when Season 2 is released? Well, it's safe to say that most of the cast will be returning, including Alba Baptista as Ava Silva, Toya Turner as Sister Mary, Thekla Rutan as Jillian Salvius, Lorena Andrea as Sister Lilith, Christina Tonteri Young as Sister Beatrice, Tristan Ulloa as Father Vincent, and Sylvia DeFanti playing Mother Superior. And as many can predict, we should expect to see William Miller play a bigger part this time too, as his role of Adriel, as he was revealed as the main villain in Season 1 that was behind everything. Another important thing to remember is that even if a character has died, it doesn't mean that they won't return. We could still see them in parts of the show, such as flashbacks or even resurrection. Nothing's off the table. With such a crazy ending to Season 1, here's some things we can expect to see in the next season. Now that Adriel has revealed his true self to the world, we're most likely going to see how Ava and her fellow nuns will react to the fact that the Order of the Cruciform Sword was founded on a lie, one made up by Father Vincent's betrayal. They will also need to find a way to stop Adriel and his evil plan. Plus, there are major questions left unanswered in Season 1, such as what happened to JC and where Michael went. To get into more detail, here's some of the plots that you might see in the upcoming season. One plotline the show will most likely pick up is what happens directly after the Season 1 cliffhanger. Right at the end of the show, Ava has managed to recharge her halo and manifest a divinium sword. However, just as she does this, Adriel summons a batch of demons, and the battle between good and evil is set. But then, the show cuts right to credits, meaning we never get to see the big fight the season had been building up to. With that said, we will either finally be able to watch this big battle, or there will be a jump in time and only get tidbits of the fight. Apart from the adventures of Ava, she discovers what her halo can do. We can see that Michael spends most of the season hearing the voices of angels and is linked to a portal to a place where death doesn't exist. But by the end of the season, he travels through this portal and we never get to see where it leads. We also ultimately see the disappearance of Michael. Hopefully in season 2, we'll get to learn what new location this portal leads to and how Michael will do in this new area. Going back to Ava, she learns that her power comes from a halo that's implanted on her back. While this is assumed to be of divine origin, we later get an insight to its true origin. In the finale, we learn that the halo is actually a demonic weapon that Adriel brought from hell, meaning that Ava's powers are rather infernal than divine. With this information, we could possibly see a battle in Ava's own soul rather than between her and the demons released by Adriel, as her desire to do good and the dark and evil origin of her powers might clash. Now to a very popular character, Shotgun Mary. At the end of the season, she takes on the people possessed by Adriel. The actress who plays Mary, Toya Turner, made this comment about her character's fate. There are so many different things that can happen, right? She could be a goner, she could be possessed. I mean, they left it so open. She could be under Adriel's control. So many things could happen. Of course, I want it to be everything except for the death part. With Shotgun Mary being such a popular character among fans, it seems unlikely that Netflix would kill her off this early, but her being possessed by Adriel leads to so many different futures for the character. Lately, the show has many prominent elements, which suggests it takes place where heaven and hell are real. With that said, the season finale sees Jillian offer another theory. What we think is the afterlife are actually just different dimensions. If her theory turns out to be correct, then this could lead to a whole new host of threats in season 2, as we have no idea what really lies beyond those portals, and if any other ones exist. While most of these are just what we expect to see, here's what the real cast of the show had to say about the new season. In an interview with showrunner Simon Barry, he revealed that the writers have already started planning what could happen next. When we were finishing season 1, we had many more avenues to go down story-wise. So we created a folder thinking, hey, if we're lucky enough to get season 2, here are some things we could draw from. After seeing the show completed, we regrouped just to talk about ideas, he said. One particularly intriguing plot thread that was discussed was Beatrice's queer identity. To many fans' liking, Barry said that he intends to delve into Beatrice more deeply, making the statement that if they got the chance to keep going, then the show would definitely want to double down on Beatrice's backstory and go from there. He added, I can't say it'll resolve into a full-blown relationship with Ava, but I do like the idea that everyone had to come to this story with their own journey and their own battles. And I love that Beatrice is one of our strongest and fiercest combatants in this story. She presents her journey in such a beautiful and nuanced way. Another character Barry brought up was Lilith. He said that he plans to dive deeper into her character as well. He said in an interview, it's one of those imperatives that we dig down and understand what she's going through and what's happened to her. He made the remark about how the show didn't want to use her as many other stories would have, which would have been to be the classic foil for Ava. Barry also talked about how interesting the idea of looking back at the other warrior nuns would be, that getting more information about their history could be great and would help the story in the present. The last topic Barry addressed was the big cliffhanger in the season 1 finale. He agreed, saying, yeah, that needs to be resolved. As a viewer myself, an Avenger, I would not be satisfied with that if I didn't get a resolution and a conclusion. When in an interview, actress Christina Tonteri Young, who plays Sister Beatrice, was asked where she thought her character could go next. Here's what she had to say. It's really hard to say. We were always surprised by what happened next. As a character who's pretty stoic, and she kind of takes everything in stride, and is grounded and reliable, it would be pretty interesting to play something where she gets thrown completely off her path a little bit. Obviously, we shouldn't get too comfortable. As we can tell by season 1 already, we should always expect the unexpected. With that said, that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching.